Alright, Gapsters, let's do that again. I just filmed the entire intro for this vlog, only to realize that I filmed it on the wrong setting. So here we go again. Let us do it, let us do it, let us do it. Hey Gapsters! I haven't vlogged in what feels like a very long time. So here we go. Before the vlog starts, I would like to share with you some things that I've bought, that I like, that are not sponsored, that I am not making any money out of with you. Why? Because I'm just so excited about them. That's why. There's one more at my office and I'll show it to you then. The first book is Misbehave by Malebo. Malebo, I met her during the Fees Must Fall protest, and she's an activist. She is a writer, she's a feminist, she's all of that, and she wrote Misbehave, which is available at shops countrywide, exclusive books, anywhere where you can buy books. Take a lot online, everywhere. And then Oya Sabega was written by my colleague in the department, and she wrote a children's book basically to get children back to their home languages. And what I really like about this is that it has word finding games, and then it has stories also. So you get, like, here's a story. So you do like word searches and then you read a story, and it's really nice. I love the art. It's really fantastic. Do you remember my colleague that I bought the shea butter from? Well, she is selling this hair growth, 100% natural hair growth stuff. And I will put the details for where you can contact her for the hair stuff, and the price for the hair stuff, as well as where to contact Tenjiwe for the book, in the description box below. I bought this t-shirt when I went to the Orbit. This is for the band Mabuta. Like I said in that video, they are crowdfunding. I generally do not buy t-shirts, or would never advise anyone to get a tattoo using letters one cannot read. However, the only other t-shirt that they had that actually had lettering, I understand, that had the like Mabuta on it, was a white t-shirt. And let me ask you something, Gaps. Do I look like the kind that has a lot of white clothes? Huh? Do I look like the kind that can actually keep white clothes clean, stain free, and crisp and clean and beautiful? No. I'm not that girl. So I took the black one instead, just to make my life easier, and I'm about to wear that right now. And then there's the actual practical issue of coming up with like 200 to 250 pages. I don't have 200 or 250 pages of stuff to write in my head. It's just unfortunate, but I don't, Gapsters. I don't. I've always been it's a 4-page essay, I hand in 2.5, 3 when it's been a good one. You know, I'm that girl. So how do I start writing? It's been very overwhelming, I'm not going to lie, Gapsters. I've had a very difficult time starting to think about writing my thesis. I break out in hives every time I think about the fact that I have to write this thesis. Like, it freaks me out. Hence the room redo. Like, I can find ways to procrastinate, people. Procrastinate. Anyway, but I have also been doing some research, because I realized that I can't let the procrastination and I can't let the fear take over the fact that I actually need to do this. Like, too many people are counting on me. Too many people know that I'm doing this. Like, I can't pretend like it's not happening. Yeah, you guys know. You guys will be like on my case like at the end of next year on some, so Gapster, how you doing? And I'll be like, ish. So I've been researching. How do I start? And I'll tell you the tips that I've come across, the tips that actually have had an impact on me, and the tips that I've started utilizing. I'm not saying I'm writing yet. But we are at conceptualization stage, and we're very close to writing stage. We wrote a sentence. We don't like the sentence, but at least we wrote a sentence. Don't think about the thesis as in its entirety, in this big volume, in this my life's work, or don't think about it in, you know, everyone who will read and judge it, because not that many people will actually read it, but all of them are going to judge you for it. Think about it as an essay. It's a bigger essay, yes, but it's not something that you haven't done before. It may be something that you haven't done to that degree before. It may be something that you haven't done potentially at that level before, but you've actually done the groundwork, you've done the foundational work, and that is what you should keep in mind. So tip number 1, don't think about the thesis in its entirety. 2, break down the thesis in your head into practical units. So firstly, instead of thinking about the thesis as 250 pages, think about it as how many chapters will I need? I'll need an introduction, I'll need a theoretical review, I will need a literature review, I will need a methodological section, I'll need at least 3 chapters and a conclusion. So you're looking at about 8 to 9 chapters. So already we are not talking 250 pages, we are talking 9 chapters, and then you say to yourself, out of those 9 chapters, how many pages do I want to go per chapter? Instead of thinking about writing, and like I'm going to spend the whole day writing, and I'm just going to be brilliant, and it's just going to be such a productive day, and by the end of the day I'd have written like 2 chapters, and it's going to be amazing, and it's going to be brilliant, and it's going to be like, wow. I know this video, I'm so hungry, I think that's why I'm so hyper. Anyway, don't do that. Firstly, it is impossible to sit down and write like 2 chapters in one sitting. Firstly, so you're putting unnecessary, impractical pressure, undue pressure on yourself. So don't do that. For instance, by my mentor, that most people can sit down for 30 minutes to 45 minutes straight without a break, without any interruptions or any of that. So take 30 minutes or 45 minutes, 30 minutes to 45 minutes, set it aside, switch off cell phone, switch off everything, anything that could potentially distract you, and set that time aside to actually write. You can spend the rest of the day thinking about writing, reading about what you're going to write about, eating, and living through the guilt of not actually having written until that 30 minutes, and then you can sit down and do that, and it feels much easier and much better to say I'm going to write for 30 minutes versus I'm going to be writing for 2 hours straight, because nobody can sit down and write for 2 hours straight without any distraction. So have a routine that you stick to, a writing routine that you stick to. So if you know that you write better in the mornings, wake up, write in the mornings and read in the evenings. Or if you're the opposite and you're a night owl, then write in the evenings and read in the morning, or watch YouTube or whatever. Do write. Even if you're not writing on the thesis itself, the consistency of having written something every day is going to keep you going. Even if you're not writing anything pertaining to your thesis, keep the writing fingers fluid. Have a calendar that you mark each day on. So like literally mark the day on. So every day write and tick, write and tick. And by the end of like 2 weeks or so, you will have an unbroken unit of ticked days. The psychology behind that is that as a human, humans don't like to see broken chains, and therefore even when you're feeling like you don't want to do it and you feel like just the thought of breaking that chain is going to have you go in and at least write like a paragraph, even if it's just a paragraph so you can tick. At least it will get you to do that rather than not having done anything at all. But basically I have a writing schedule. July is free writing with structure and skeleton. I have August, September, October, November. 250 pages, 9 chapters, 80 days, 4 pages per day. I'm actually setting up a weekly planner. So basically how I want to schedule my days. I'm still waiting to find out about my my tutoring days, so I haven't filled out any of the times because everything will depend on which days I'm tutoring and what time I'm tutoring. So sleeping, eating, watching YouTube, filming videos is all going to get slotted into here, and it's got times from 8 a.m. up until midnight. And then I want to give you a practical example about how I sub-themed some of my work. So for example, this unit, this unit, this unit are all in capitalism. So 1, 2, 3. They're all in capitalism, and they would all fall under one chapter, for instance. Instead of saying all of these are capitalism and then just piling them all up together into like one massive pile, as you can see, like, I mean, the pile would come up to like that. I have broken it up into different themes. Anthropological theory on the theory of value. So that's, although it deals with capitalism, it's looking at something very specific, which is value. And then this is looking at capitalism and digital media. So it's very specific. And then this is looking at neoliberalism, new capitalism. As you can see, they all fit into one chapter. They'll all be one chapter, but I've broken them down into smaller themes, which will help me be able to deal with, because I then just have to pick up this and deal with this and deal with this and deal with this, and not have to take all three of these piles, put them on my desk, and say, how you doing? Well, I hope this was helpful to you. I'm sorry I'm breathing so heavily. My asthma has been on. These last couple of days it's just been like hectic, hectic, hectic. Anyway, so I'm going to go up to my office. I'm going to show you the book, the other book that I really like. And I think, yeah, this is the end of the vlog. Thank you, Gabsters. Bye.